I want to speak on a topic that came to my mind maybe a few hours ago while speaking to a friend of mine on Facebook. Now, I'm recording this on Spreaker just in case YouTube decides to remove the video because lately some of my videos have been flagged and removed. I guess it's too hot for YouTube. But before I get started, I want to share a dream that I had. I was going to make a separate video about this dream, and I might still do that. But I'll share a portion, just a small bit of this dream I had maybe a few nights ago. I had a dream of me and a couple of angels was trolling the gates of hell. Me and a couple of angels was trolling the gates of hell. And on the entrance of the gates of hell, there was a sign that says, it's a point of no return. And once you enter hell, there's no way out. And we were outside the gates of hell, and it was made like it was maybe a restaurant type club. And you walk down this slope way going inside, and once you go inside there, it's a point of no return. You can't come back. And what we were doing, we were trolling the guards that were at the entrance. So one of the guys that I was with, now keep in mind, I wasn't aware that these were angels until the very end of the dream. And one of them, whenever they made the attempt to walk inside hell, just trolling, to walk in there, some guards would appear with signs warning them not to go, right? And then a sign appeared that says, this is a point of no return. And it's like they were given a few chances to keep from going there. It's like whenever they made the effort to go inside, now I wasn't going. I kind of just stood back and I was having fun. We were just trolling them, right? But when they got ready to walk in, of course, you had the guards come up. They had all these signs. And then there's one big sign that says is a point of no return. 3 chances of them trying to prevent you from going in. That last chance, it's on you. It's a choice that you made, personal choice. You chose to enter hell upon your own free will and accord. It was your choice. It wasn't that you did anything wrong to deserve going to hell, but you made that choice to walk through the gates of hell. And it's interesting because I've always said in my videos that you can't play on the devil's playground because one day the devil will show up. So one of the guys that were with me that I learned was an angel, he said, after the couple of warnings came up, he said, I'm going in there. So he walks in through the gates of hell. No one stopped him. But as he got further into the gates of hell, it was so hot in there. And this is just at the beginning of the entrance. It was so hot in there that it looked like his whole being started turning an ash color. That's how hot it was. And he wasn't even in hell yet. He just walked in the entrance of it. And I'm sitting there watching him, and he was walking like he was untouched, like it didn't bother him. It had no power and authority over him. But because of the intensity of the heat, it was turning him into an ash-like color. And then he turned around and came back out, and he said, man, it's hot up in there. But it was the way he said it. And we were like just cracking up, man. But we were trolling hell. And I woke up. But the next night, which was last night, I got suspended off of Twitter because Adam Schiff made a comment regarding Trump or impeaching Trump. And then I responded back to him and said, I predict you having a heart attack or stroke. And within the matter of 5 or 10 minutes, my account was suspended. And they said it was because of the fact that I violated Twitter's policy. They said I violated Twitter's policy, and I made either it was a threat or it was wishing harm or death upon someone. So I responded to them and told them I didn't wish harm or death upon no one. I just clearly said I predict. Prediction or making a prediction is not wishing harm upon anyone. I just made a prediction. But they suspended it anyway for 24 hours, which the account is now back. Hence my way of trolling hell. Okay, because the way this system is set up, this is a hellish system that we're living in. And it's not by coincidence that I refer to the Democrats as demon craps. Because this nation now is being ruled by satanic energy. Not so much as what Trump trying to do. That's why Trump is under attack and those that's around him, even his family members. And they're going after Pence. Pence is in their target. And the thing that this demonic system does is it pulls up information on you and holds it. They research you. And you have no idea that you're being researched. Now, in the position, in the government, or in politics, you would think that they would be aware of the fact that they are being investigated and being watched every single moment of their waking and sleep state. They are constantly being watched, but I think sometimes people become so complacent and so used to their position and the people around them that they become sleep or numb to what is actually happening, because now they're thinking and feeling that because people are coming to them with a smiling face and patting them on the back and telling them they're doing such a great job, they now believe that these people are their friends, that they support them, that they are behind them in every way, but don't realize that those same people that appears to be in your corner is working overtime to destroy you. So to get on with my topic, and before I get on, don't forget to click in the click on the bottom, the Cash App and the PayPal link in the description. My tongue is being tied. But look in the description box and click on the Cash App and the PayPal link and support this channel. But you see the title, Prison Prostitution, Modern Day Black Slavery. I'm going to repeat that. Prison Prostitution, Modern Day Black Slavery. That's a thought that came to me maybe a few hours ago. And maybe this is a way of me trolling hell, is constantly making these videos, constantly attacking certain people with certain agendas to destroy people. And it's sad because people are buying into the fake news media. People are buying into what the demon craps and many Republicans are doing to destroy a man that has done nothing wrong. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying I agree with everything that Trump does and says. I don't agree with that. But I'm looking at what he does, and I'm looking at the fact that I've never seen in my 58 years of living on this planet that this system was so bent on destroying their own president. Now, Kennedy was shot, Yes, Kennedy was shot for trying to help black people. But yet Trump, in his own way, is doing the same thing, but it's sad because people can't see it. The very people that can benefit from him being in office cannot see what he's doing because they're so caught up into this bewitching the spell that has been cast upon them. When Barack Obama was in office and when he was getting out and they started doing these spirit cookings and all these spells that they call themselves casting on Trump and Trump supporters, what we see happening is the result of that, because now a spirit is controlling these people that's doing nothing in office for the people that voted them in there, but they're working overtime to destroy not only Trump, but the people that support Trump and what Trump stands for. But yet they're giving the people, the same people that voted them, things that they think they want. So now we're in a system, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but now we're in a system where it's clear that slavery, today's modern day slavery, are children. Children are an extremely lucrative commodity here in America. And that's why the Democrats are so bent on open borders. That's why their concern is the children, not that they're trying to save children. Because if they were trying to save children, if they really cared about children, then they would not support abortions, especially late-term abortions after the child is born. So they're convincing Americans, primarily black women, to abort their children, and Latinos, to abort your children, but yet they're welcoming illegal immigrants, not those that's coming through the border legally, but those that's sneaking into the border, those that's protesting and fighting against ICE, those that's guarding the borders. They're fighting against them. But yet this is what they support, and our tax dollars are going towards those, and yet the homeless rate in California has been the only state that's been really fighting against the Trump administration from the very beginning, fighting hard and resisting. It's a Democratic state. But look at the condition of California and all the homeless Americans there. But yet the taxpayers are homeless and the illegal immigrants got free health care, free shelter, free clothing. Trying to get them established here in this system. And at the same time, we have child sex trafficking that's taking place, coming back and forth over the border. And they want what these corporations are doing, and even the prison system, what they're doing is they're taking advantage of this free labor. You might as well say it's free because it's cheap. Because you have people that's so desperate into getting into this country, they're selling their souls. And they're willing to do anything because they look at America as America the Great. See, and we hear black people all the time, just the results of African slave trade, blacks are still talking about it to this day, and they've never experienced it, but they're dealing with the debris from slavery. They live in the results of yesterday, today. But yet a new type of slavery is here in America, alive and well, and black people support it. When you support the Democrat Party, you support captivity, the modern day slavery of children. So when we see or hear of news articles like Bill Clinton, which Bill Clinton incarcerated so many black males. And the thought came to my mind was the reason why Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton imprisoned so many young black males, they had to keep the prison system full. They had to promise a high percentage, like 98% occupancy. Even young black males that did no harm, they was just caught up in the system. And there was one judge in Pennsylvania that got busted for that. just sending them off into captivity. And now you have situations where children are being snatched off the streets of America and sold into sex slavery, sold into captivity. And this is what the Democrats are marching and protesting for. This is what they're fighting for. So when we look at situations like Bill Clinton and Epstein going back and forth to PedoIsland all the time, and keep in mind, Bill Clinton is untouched. Why do you think Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are so untouched? Because they have a high position in this demonic society. They're responsible for incarcerating, enslaving, and prostituting a lot of young black males and females. They have these kids in the prison system, and according to the Constitution, that's the only time that slavery is permissible here in this country. It's when you're incarcerated. So when you're incarcerated, you are a slave, and that's why you find a lot of young black males get out, and even females that get out. The women get out masculinized, and the boys get out effeminate. Because in prison, to get special favors, they agree to being prostituted out. The way the system is, and this is the information that comes to me, the revelation I receive, is that they sneak certain boys out, like maybe to the Catholic Church, because you find that the Pope is in agreement with a lot of unrighteousness, homosexuality. You find now we have situations in the Catholic Church, and even in many of the normal churches, man, where young boys are being attacked. They don't want the girls, they want the boys. In the Catholic Church, the altar boys, a lot of them are being exposed. So the Catholic Church got their hands in it, just like they had their hands in African slave trade. So what they do is they prostitute these young boys out, give them that time away from the prison system, maybe take a trip to PedoIsland. And I'm sure that there's some PedoIslands right here in this country that we don't know about. So these young boys are snuck out of the prison system, and they're showed special favor, because whenever someone that's in position of authority or some bigwig comes into town and they need a lady for the night, which happens to be a young boy, they would say, listen, we'll give you special favors here in prison, but yet I have some special people here from out of town, and they just need a lady for the night. So yet the young boys agree on that, and young men, and so they go out, take care of these people, these men that visit PedoIsland here in America, and he take care of them. They do what they please with these young boys, and then they sneak them back into the prison. So now a lot of these young boys maybe get time off their sentence. And in many cases, if they don't abide by their rules or agree to that prostitution, then they would find ways to trap them, to keep them in prison. Maybe you can't go outside, you can't go in the population, so we keep you in the hole. I'm just guessing. I've never been to prison, so I don't know. So the revelation that came to me is that many of these young black males and females that's being incarcerated within the black and Latino community, many of them are being prostituted out. They're being outsourced. They're in prison, but they're being outsourced to take care of men that's visiting or comes into the city, dignitaries, maybe from other countries. And it's a big prostitution chain that's going on right here in America, where young black males and females and children that's being snatched off the street are now being outsourced, are sold into slave trade, sex slavery. So Bill Clinton and Epstein and Hillary Clinton and all this other, they're all in this mess together. And that's why their faces, and Barack Obama. Every now and then, Hillary Clinton will go away. You don't hear nothing from Hillary. You don't hear nothing from Barack Obama. And then when things start smoothing out, then they reappear to get things started back again. It's like when you cook it out on the grill and the flame goes low, you start manipulating the flames or the charcoal, and then the flame comes back up. That's the same thing that's happening with sex slavery, prison prostitution. They have to fill a quota. They have to keep them young boys in there. And when we think of the prison system being lucrative, because you question, how is prison system lucrative when they're locking up these boys, they're taking taxpayers' dollars to take care of these boys and girls that's being locked up? How are they making their money? Slave trade, free labor to corporations. Sex slavery to corporations and to bigwigs that come into this country. Doctors and lawyers that's willing to pay money for these young boys. So they're making young boys. So when these young boys come out of prison, when they come home, they're different. And many of us think that they're institutionalized because of the fact that they've been locked down for so long. But they've been locked down and prostituted. So when they come back, they're different. They're not the same. Because we're living in times where sodomy is a way of life. It's become the norm. Unrighteousness has become the norm. And righteousness is frowned upon and attacked. So we're living in times where children are a lucrative commodity. Systematic gay agenda. I'll repeat that again. Systematic gay agenda. So now we find that the government, prison system, politicians, the Catholic Church that molest boys, and they may make it appear that they're doing something by giving somebody some hush money, but it's never stopped. And now you have a pope that stands up and says that he supports the transsexual and the gay agenda. He supports the open borders. Of course, because the Catholic Church has always been involved with corruption and the African slave trade here in America. So that's a revelation that came to me. Do I have facts on that? No. But while talking to a friend of mine on Facebook, it came this is the reason why they're incarcerating so many young black males. Black men are targeted. And when we talk about rituals that's being done, sex slavery involves a lot of sex rituals. And they need the energy of young black males. They're proving drugs that will destroy you, that will destroy your mind. I had a vision, and you can check my dream channel, and I'll put the link to my dream channel on the bottom, and I think that dream is still up, where I dreamt that the system had created this drug, and they were wrestling this dude down, this young black dude, and you had cops wrestling him down. And to make him submit, it's going to become a time where they're no longer going to have to shoot young black men to make them resist. Because you know how they wrestle them down and you hear them screaming, stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. Well, a time is coming when they won't have to shoot them anymore. They don't have to choke hold them anymore. They were trying to hold this young dude down and he was fighting and resisting them. And they gave him a pill that made him just surrender, to submit. He was still aware, but his whole body, mind, and soul just submitted to them. It was a pill that they gave this dude in this dream that just made him just immediately submit to them. So a time is coming, and the drug is probably already there. It's probably being tested on young men. Young males that's in prison, that's being prostituted out. And maybe that drug is given to them to take their minds off of what they're doing. Because that's a real head job right there, no pun intended. To be sold off into sex slavery, and you're told that we would make your prison system a lot lighter if you just go along with the program. And a lot of young black males and females are going along with the program. You think of when these cops stop these young boys and harass them on the street and pat them down, and these young dudes that were saying that even while they were being patted down by male cops, they were groped. They would grab their genitals as if they're playing with them. And then when you go into the prison system, they make you bend over, and you got a man looking at you bent over, telling you to cough. Just destroying your complete manhood. Now, if you do the crime, of course you have to do the time. But you have so many young black males that's being raised by black women that's preparing them. These black females are preparing their sons for captivity, teaching their sons at a very age, encouraging them to be thugs by the way they dress them at a very young age in their Timbs and their pants sagging them. Knowing that sagging your pants came from the prison system. It's letting another man know that your butt is available. So that's like growing up, and whenever a woman walks on the outside, man or woman walking down the street, when she walks on the outside of the man towards the street, that means that he's prostituting her. She's for sale. She's available. So people that drive by can look at the merchandise. So ladies, you'll find that a lot of guys that's still gentlemen will take you and put you on the inside of him so that you don't be on the outside facing the street. And some of y'all are wondering, like, why are you doing that? Because a lot of young people nowadays aren't taught how to be young men and how to be young ladies. So now the roles have changed. It's shifted. Where you have females that think they're men, and you have dudes that think they're women. Androgynous demons they become. So when you find a guy that will put you on the inside, he's not only protecting you, but he's also letting the world know that, no, my woman is not for sale. I'm not prostituting her out. See? So anyway, I'm going to close it right here, and maybe later I'll do a video on that vision I had or that dream about trolling hell, and I get into more detail about that. But I'm going to continue to troll hell. All of these hellish ways and these hellish laws that these demons are forcing upon the righteous people of Yah. The righteous people of Yah are being trolled by the demonic energy that's in this world. And if you're not careful, it is so easy now to get souped up into that hellish energy that had taken over this country. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, share this video. And again, if YouTube removes it, you can find it right on Spreaker. And if you look in the description box, the link to my Spreaker is right on the bottom. Join Spreaker for free and subscribe. Click on the Cash app if you enjoyed this video and support this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.